So you have a form design in Figma and you want the data from that form to be sent to Notion. Here's how to do this using the Weavly plugin and Zapier. So we're starting off with an existing form, which I generated using the Weavly plugin. I could, of course, customize this further, but that's not the topic of this tutorial. Only thing you need to know is that we already pre-labeled these questions. So we're asking for the respondent's name, their gender, phone number, email address, and country of residence with a drop-down and all of the countries of the world. So nothing particular, it's just a standard form. So this is already functional, of course, given that we're using the Weavly plugin. I can load this into my browser. I can type in my name, provide answers to those questions, and that data will be automatically collected for me in the Weavly plugin. So that's our submission right here. But the topic of the video is how can we get that data into Notion? So I've created a Notion database up front to house our data. As you can see, for the moment, it's empty. It contains the same columns as our form, but that doesn't particularly need to be the case. And the question is, how do we get the data from our form to appear in this Notion database automatically without us having to copy paste stuff? So to do this, we're going to use the Weavly integration with Zapier. So Zapier, if you don't know about it, is this automation tool which connects, I think it's 6,000 different tools to each other. Weavly is one of those. So you can create an account for free. I've already done this. I have another tutorial about how to do this and how it works in general. But we're going to create a Zap, which is a bridge between Weavly and Notion. So there's always two parts to a Zap. There's a trigger, something which is going to produce data, and then there's an action, you want to do something with the data. So the trigger in our case is always coming from Weavly. More particularly, it's the fact that somebody submitted the form, right? So there's data available. Account has already been set up in a previous tutorial. Again, you can check that one out. It's pretty simple. Continue, then we need to choose which form that we want to listen to. So which form is going to actually provide us the data. So you choose which team you're working in, and then you choose the form, which in our case is called Zapier Notion tutorial. Hit continue, and then we're going to be able to test whether everything has been set up correctly for our trigger. And at the end of this test, we also see which data elements are going to be available to do our action on. So we have name, gender, phone number, email, and country with example text here, which is all lorem ipsum, and then date created, which is automatically added by Weavly. So we're going to continue with that. And the action, of course, is going to be Notion related. That's the whole topic of this tutorial. And the event that we want is the creation of a database item. Hit continue, then we'll need to connect our Notion account. So let me sign in. I have a personal and a professional Notion. So we'll go into our team plan over here. And then you can select which pages particularly you want Zapier to have access to. We're only going to give access to the page containing the database for this tutorial. So allow the access and we're connected. As simple as that. Continue, and then basically in this setup or in this page here, we're going to choose which database we want data to be flowing into. So there's only one, submissions, right? So that's the name of this database right there. So we're going to select it, and then automatically we get the columns of our database. And the goal here is that we're going to say which data from our form should be sent or inputted into which column of our database. So it's pretty straightforward in this example, right? So the name field of our form is going to be in the name column. The gender field of our form is going to be in the gender column. You catch the drift. Phone number is going to be phone number. And email, surprisingly, is still going to be email. And then we have country, which is country. All right. So that's basically it. The rest we don't need. So we don't need to add any text to the page body and that kind of stuff. You could technically go further into that integration, but we're going to keep it simple for the moment. Hit continue. We can potentially test with pre-given data, but we're not going to do that here. Everything has been set up correctly. You can trust me. Skip the test and publish, our Zap. So once the Zap is live, there's nothing else that needs to be done. Automatically, if somebody fills in the form, that data is available in Notion. So let's try that out. Copy our URL again, paste that into the browser, and we're going to fill in our name, give a phone number, our email address. If you have questions, you can contact me on that email address. The phone number is not the real one, so you won't be able to call me. And I live in Belgium. We hit submit, and then we go into our Notion, and then it pops up right as I do my gesture with my hands. How awesome is that? So we have data coming in from our Weebly form right into Notion with a pretty easy setup using Zapier. That's it.